As you'll see later on in this video, a lot of these mistakes were mistakes that I made when my business hit 6 figures, and also the mistakes a lot of my clients have made when they hit 6 figures as well. Hi, I'm Lisa, the founder of Lisa Study Guides, a private tutoring company which I have recently just sold for multiple 6 figures, and now I'm helping other tutoring business owners start and grow their businesses. Let's talk about these mistakes 6-figure tutoring business owners make. First is thinking that what got you here will get you to the next stage. So when I say the next stage, I'm talking about multiple 6 figures, upper multiple 6 figures, and even into the 7 figures. So you've done a really good job of actually getting started and getting yourself to the 6-figure mark. But what's really important for you to know is that you need to be willing to learn all over again. The things that you've learned that have gotten you here that you feel comfortable and confident with are going to be the systems that break now that you're in this 6-figure stage. So in order for us to scale, what happens is that a lot of the systems that you've built for yourself will no longer serve you as you continue to get more students in through the door, as you continue to build out your team. So when those systems break, oh, my dress is feeling a little bit sexy. All right. So as those systems break, you're going to have to come in and revise them and actually set them up again in a new way that actually enables you to scale into that next phase of your business. So it really sucks to hear that the systems you've built are going to break, but it's also reassuring at the same time knowing that, all right, my system that I've created up until now has served me. When it does break, it means that I'm ready for that next stage of business. It's actually a good thing. Let's get going, shall we? Do you want to get going? You can be held for a little bit. The next mistake a lot of tutoring business owners make when they hit the 6-figure mark is to do with their pricing. So with pricing, a lot of tutoring business owners actually undercharge. Now, undercharging is not so much of a problem when you're still small, but it starts to become more and more of an issue, especially as you need to scale. Because in order for you to scale, you're going to have more expenses. You're going to have to hire more people. You're going to want to automate and onboard more software. You're going to want to pay yourself if you're not already. And so as you start getting more expenses, it starts to cut into the profits that you've been making. So if you're already undercharging in the beginning because you don't have many expenses, you don't have much of a team, you don't have many systems that you've built out, you can collect that profit and it might still be okay. It might still be enough for your general expenses, your daily living. But as you grow, those expenses are going to increase, which is going to cut into your net profit. And so you're going to start to really feel it if you are already undercharging for your tutoring prices. Now, the flip side of this is that a lot of tutoring business owners also don't know how much to pay their tutors. So whenever I work with my clients, one of the first things we always do is actually just look at their numbers and see whether or not their business as it stands is sustainable for the long run. Is it sustainable for this next chapter that you want to edge to in your business? And a lot of the times it's not. Either they're undercharging their tutoring prices or they're actually paying their tutors too much. It gets even worse when you pay your tutor too much, because in the future you want to be able to pay your tutors even more as they get more experience. You want to keep the good people on your team. And so as you increase their wage, that again increases your expenses and again cuts into your net profit or your bottom line. You can see that at this stage of the business, it's actually crucial for you to make sure that you actually set up your business with a stable foundation so that you can actually grow. If you try to go at it with the way that you have been, with your numbers not quite right, you will hit a wall, because at some point you will no longer be profitable. Because at some point you won't have the profits that you want that keep you motivated and going and continue to build the business. Up to 50% sometimes. That's why with my one-on-one private clients who are at the 6-figure stage, we implement these changes immediately, which means that they actually generate hundreds and thousands more every single month. If you are someone who's interested in working one-on-one with me, I only take on board 3 clients at a time so that I can give them my utmost attention. With my one-on-one clients, we go through anything that's highly customized to your specific circumstance in your business. So we can talk about your sales, we can talk about your team, your product suite, we can talk about automations and systemization, how to delegate and how to get you out of the business and working more as a CEO. And you also get access to all of my resources, including my signature program, Master Your Tutoring Game Plan, including scripts, templates for you to use in your own business, which have worked for mine and my other clients too. So if you're interested in finding out more, then I'll just drop a link for you in the description box below. The next mistake six-figure tutoring business owners make is not delegating, not being comfortable enough to let go of the control they've had to get their business up to this point. And hey, it makes complete sense because you have been the person who's been driving this business and it is successful. You've gotten it up to a stage where it's 6 figures and more. And so it's completely natural for you to want to keep that control. But unfortunately, you are only one person, and what you may be already feeling right now is that you only have so much time and there is so much that you need to do and so much that you could still do on top of that. And so in order for you to get to that 7-figure stage in business, this is where delegating starts to become incredibly important. You really need to start growing out your team. If it's not people, then it is software that you need to leverage in order to automate a few of your tasks for you. The things that can't be automated by software is where people come into things. So a really good example here is I have a one-on-one private client who's been with me for a couple of years now, and one of the last things he's really struggled to let go of is actually just being the salesperson and being the front of house person. Because he has a tutoring center, he is the face to the brand, and so all the parents that come in know him, all the students that come in know him as well, and he's always the first person you see when you walk off the street and you come in and you go, what is this tutoring center? What do you offer? So he's got a great personality and he's able to really sell his business and therefore get a lot of traffic and a lot of sales as a result. But this was the one thing that he really struggled to let go of, because he said to me, Lisa, I'm literally like the face of the brand. If I stop doing this, then people won't want to sign up. Like, people know this business for me, right? And the thing is, I actually felt very much the same way with Lisa's Study Guides. The business is literally called Lisa's Study Guides after my own name. We both have had to let go of this idea that we needed to be that front of house and to actually start getting people in place who could do the same job, and if not even better. So I know you're probably thinking, Lise, like, no one can do this job better than me. But let me just say this, when you find the right person, you will be amazed with how much they can bring to the table even you weren't capable of. And so I was having a chat with this same client just the other day, and he's hired somebody who he's so happy with. He said to me that he wishes he'd let go of this role even sooner, because he had no idea that this lady would come into his life and would be able to help him in the way that she is helping him right now in her business. She's literally coming to him with ideas on how to do things even better, things that he's never even thought about himself. Isn't that a win-win? The next mistake six-figure tutoring business owners make is not hiring the ideal tutor fit for your business at this stage in time. So I've spoken about hiring your ideal tutor fit before, which I'll pop up in a video link for you up there. But what you have to understand as your business grows is that the type of people you attract to your business will also change. So some people really like the idea of working with a small startup that only has a few small people that they can have a really big impact on by working there, and that they can have an intimate connection with one another, with the few people that's there. Other people have different aspirations for themselves. Other people are interested in working with a business that is of a larger size, because when it's a larger size, the organization is run in a different way, and they're curious to know what that would look like and how they would be involved in that. And one thing I would love for you to reflect on is, in order for you to get to the six-figure stage, you probably have at least a handful of tutors. If you don't have that and you're a solo tutor who's at that six-figure mark, then my suspicion is that you're probably charging a pretty decent rate for the tutoring services that you're offering, which tells me that you're probably teaching a very competitive subject, maybe one that gets you into a college, or maybe it's like exam preparation or something of that sort. But the tutoring business business owners I'm speaking to now are the ones who've already got those tutors who have helped them get to this 6-figure mark. So now that you are at the 6-figure mark and you're looking to hire more tutors and you're looking to scale to 7 figures, have a think about what is it that's actually going to attract tutors to your company at the size it is at now. Is it likely that these tutors who are coming to you at this stage want you specifically for that one-on-one customized support to help them with their tutoring? I kind of doubt so. What they may be looking for is more so just resource support, having a library there for them, because you're at a certain stage in your business where you probably are likely to have some resources available. So have a think and a reflection of what you think you would like to implement for your tutors to support them for this next stage of business. And so this leads me into my next mistake that 6-figure tutoring business owners typically make, and that's that they don't have the right support systems in place for their tutors. So as you start getting more and more tutors, there are more and more people for you to manage. If you have been offering them that one-on-one support up until now, you may find that you're starting to get quite stretched thin, especially as you start hiring 10 tutors, 20 tutors, 30 tutors even, because you're literally only one person, right? What I would highly encourage you to do is really solicit that data back from your tutors. Don't play a guessing game where you kind of come up with an idea and you think, oh yeah, that sounds great, let me just implement that. Actually ask them, what is it that they would like in terms of support? To give you an example of what I did, in the early days, I would have resources available for my tutors and I would slowly build out that library for them, not of my own resources, but just resources I could collect. Eventually, when we got up to that multiple 6-figure stage and it was time for me to really invest in becoming a known expert in the subject we were teaching, that's when I started to produce our own resources, not only for our students, but for our tutors as well. By the time we were at that multiple 6-figure stage, I had also assigned a head tutor for our team because I was getting a lot of questions and I could no longer manage these tutors all on my own. And so I actually hired one of my tutors to step up into this role and become the lead tutor that everyone else could go to and direct their questions towards. A lot of my private clients will actually start doing documentation as well. So tutor training for their tutors. So how to deal with a customer who is unhappy, how to run the first session, how to deal with students who miss their lessons. Any of those questions that seem to pop up time and time again, you can actually create documentation for your tutors so that they can actually go to this FAQ bank as opposed to coming to you or coming to your head tutor straight away. It's kind of like those chatbots you see at the bottom corner of any website. Sometimes you will type in your question and you get redirected to documentation where you can actually resolve the problem yourself. But then if you can't, you then escalate it to a live person who can help you. I like to think of this scenario here in very much the same way. The next mistake 6-figure tutoring business owners make is not clearly knowing their financials. This one absolutely bugs me, but I just see so many of my clients actually having this issue, and I think it makes sense. Like, everything in your business has worked well up until this point, and a lot of times you don't really need to know the in and outs of your income, of your expenses, and what's left over. You know it's growing because you're getting students in the door. You know it's growing because you're getting more tutoring hours and you're hiring tutors and you're just busy, right? But can I please hammer into you, when you get to this stage of the business, it's really important that you start to think and invest your time in clearly documenting your financials. So what do I mean by this? I mean having an accounting software, having it connected to your bank account, to your Stripe account, so that any transactions that come through into your bank, any income is clearly recorded and any expenses is also clearly reported. Now, the reason why this is absolutely vital into this next stage of business is because, again, remember how earlier I mentioned that your expenses is going to start increasing. It hasn't been an issue for you now because you know that you're making a profit. Like a tutoring business, you don't have many expenses in the beginning. It's easy to have a really high profit margin. But when you start needing to pay for people, when you start needing to pay for more software, again, your net profit is going to be eaten into. And we just don't want you to get to a point where there's so much being eaten up that you don't even know where this money is going. So I personally use Xero, and I've used Xero basically from year 2 of my tutoring business, and that's when I had around 5 to 10 tutors, and that's when I really started started to make things official with my numbers, and it's just incredibly helpful because it gives you that overall clear picture of your business health. And that's important for you because as you make decisions in the future, those decisions will have an even bigger impact. So for example, when you increase your expenses and you, let's say, increase your tutor pay rate by $5 because they've gotten another year's worth of experience, they deserve a pay rise. That's fine because it's just one tutor. And so you can kind of calculate that and go, okay, well, if it's $5 for every session they make and they run 50 by 5 is 250. So you can kind of calculate that off the top of your head, and you know that that's probably not going to eat into your profit that much. But then let's say if you have a team of 20 tutors and suddenly they're all due for a pay rise. So that's $5 for every single tutor. That's thousands more that's actually going to eat into your net profit. And that's when it can start getting a little bit dangerous because maybe you need that money in order to invest in something else. For example, you've invested in your first employee and you know you have to have money and runway set aside for this particular employee. So you can just kind of see that the implications of your decision become even more impactful. And so the bottom line here is please just get your numbers recorded online somewhere, have it all tracked, because this is essential for your own understanding of your business health in the long run, for you to make smarter decisions. It also has other positive impacts. So for example, when you've got your business financials written down properly, recorded, then it means that you can actually sell your business one day because people can actually see how much your business is making. When it comes to the banks, this is the case at least in Australia for business owners. If you have 2 years worth of your profit and loss reports, then it means you can actually go out and get a loan. For example, your home loan. Like I got this house because I had that financial data available. So this actually leads me into the next mistake six-figure tutoring business owners make, and that is not having clear goals. So again, in order for you to get into your six-figure stage, a lot of it was experimentation, it was discovery, it was finding your product market fit, it was getting your first few customers, it was getting your systems in place just so that you could actually get things effective and running. But once you get to six figures and you're looking to move beyond seven figures, you actually have people to answer to. So as you start building out your team is looking to you for that overall vision and mission and direction. And if you don't have that, and if you're not sure what you're doing, where you're going, then that's also going to create confusion, lack of clarity, and sometimes it gets to a point where it leads to demotivation and people actually leaving you because they don't really know what they're here for. And in today's world, a lot of our generation, the generation younger than us, we're all looking to find fulfillment in our work. We're all looking to make an impact and to know that our work matters. And so it's important for you as the leader of this business to be able to communicate that with your team. So in order for you to do that, first you have to have goals. In order for you to actually have those goals in the first place, you actually need to be able to realistically understand your financials and how to interpret that in a way that's going to project it into what's possible for you in the near future. So you can see how a lot of these mistakes actually compound and intertwine with one another. So if you've watched all the way until the end of this video, thank you so much. I so appreciate you, and I'm glad that you've watched all the way until this point of the video. If you have, I'd love for you to leave a comment for me, just letting me know that you've reached the end of this video by writing the word seven figures, because that tells me that I should do more videos like this that you find valuable. Now, the next video I'd recommend you go to watch is my what I've learned hiring over 100 tutors for my tutoring team. I've made a lot of mistakes there, but I've also done a few things quite well as well, which I'd love to share with you. So go ahead and watch that, and I can't wait to see you soon. Bye!